So the Dow Jones is currently stuck around 26,800. It's fallen from its 27 plus peak that it struck after the partial trade deal was announced. It was largely undermined last Friday by data out of China. I think it was China's worst GDP figure for almost 30 years. That did damage to the markets as a whole, and the Dow Jones wasn't exempt from that. The index is still waiting for further details on the US-China trade deal. There has been positive noise from both Trump's economic advisor, Larry Kudlow, and Trump himself, pointing towards progress in the deal and perhaps potentially some kind of more substantial update in November. However, without an actual concrete set of details to work with, the Dow Jones has sort of been trading fairly laterally since that Chinese data. Again, like I said, remaining around 26,800. It's earnings season at the moment. There's still some very, very big names. Arguably, the biggest names are still to come. You've got Tesla, Amazon, and Intel. You've got Alphabet, Facebook, and Apple. All those companies, those big tech sector companies, are going to be treated as sort of a indicator for the health of the global economy that could come to affect not only the US markets but the markets as a whole. Recently, fears were sparked in the tech sector, specifically by the worse than forecast outlook by Texas Instruments, which makes, I think, things like semiconductors for various tech items. So that'll be interesting to see when it comes to the names from when it comes to the earnings from the big names, what kind of state their figures are in for the current quarter, and probably more importantly, what kind of guidance it gives for the next quarter. Obviously, the Dow Jones and the rest of the market is also facing a Federal Reserve meeting next week. Though you would think there is a certain amount of uncertainty around the meeting, given that the decision last time out wasn't unanimous, the CME's Fedwatch tool, which calculates the probability of the moves before each Fed meeting, currently has the chance of a rate cut at 93.5%, which obviously is, as close to certainty as you could perhaps get with things like this. The prospect of that rate cut might be the thing that's helping the Dow Jones remain at its current levels, hold at 26,800 instead of dipping below it due to the lack of US-China trade news. So in the next couple of weeks, the Dow Jones is sort of caught between major events in terms of the trade announcement from a couple of weeks ago and that Federal Reserve meeting next week, but with enough earnings data to sort of keep it going between those two major milestones.